Greetings, Light Tribe. Janine Palmer here, Spirit Silver Moon for Harmony Energy Healing. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't even know what I'm going to entitle it, and I don't even know exactly everything I'm going to be discussing here. But I think there's a lot of things that might be important to address, to have a little discussion about them for deeper understanding. And it really has to come down to being about misunderstandings and misperceptions, because there's so much suffering that happens from them. Gosh, and people come along our path, especially with social media. We meet so many people, so many interesting people, and everyone is our teacher. Everyone and everything is our teacher if we're open to perceiving it that way. Okay. And so, wow, sometimes we will engage in dialogue, and sometimes much can be learned from that, through that, only if people are open. Sometimes somebody might say something to us and it doesn't resonate with us for whatever reason, known or unknown. It might not be what we wanted or needed to hear or hoped to hear. It may or may not contain truth. We may or may not recognize the truth it may or may not contain. So when we engage, open up, or engage in a dialogue, sometimes we want or are hoping for a particular type of support, and that other person might not be able to give us that exact support, especially if they're being honest, because they have a different perspective after having gone through a similar experience. If someone can't be supportive of you in the way you want, it doesn't mean that they're not being supportive of you or that they're not willing to support you, to share something with you. But if you judge and attack what they're attempting to share, and even calling that judgment, nothing's happening, butting heads. So oftentimes when truth is shared, it might seem like judgment, but it might not really be judgment. It's a particular truth for someone, okay? So we have our different perspectives from our different experiences. Okay, so like, okay, I experienced this thing, here's what I learned. And so I don't think the judgment would be the right word, but like I choose not to think of it in this way anymore, because I did and I found out I was wrong. So that's not really a judgment. Maybe it's like, I don't know how to, that's a word that I think is also misunderstood. There's judgments that we make, judgment calls that we make for ourselves, that we make a determination that this is for me, this isn't for me. That could be called a judgment. But then there's judgment that's condemnation, like where someone's judging you because for whatever reason, and I write about this so much, those who know me know the videos that I do about this, that I speak out against judgment, about being judgmental. So sometimes people do something to put someone down because they're trying to inflate their ego. Sometimes someone shares a truth with someone because they feel that it has value, but that other person ain't open to it. So when someone's sharing a truth through honesty, that's not judgment. But if the person chooses to view it as judgment, they might not be seeing the blocks, the energetic blocks, mental, energetic, emotional, whatever they are, blocks that are in the way. People might not be seeing that when they're wrapped up in something. So many people have expectations for things, attachments to ideas, to belief systems, to ideologies. They have attachments to them, and therefore they suffer. And so when someone tries to bring to your attention to not have expectations, that something might not be what it seems, to let go of attachment, that person's not the enemy. That person's not the bad guy. Maybe your angel sent that person to you. Maybe you were drawn to that person for a reason you don't yet see. Okay? I feel like part of my purpose here in this little third rock from the sun or whatever is to be a messenger. And I do it with my writings and I do it with my videos from my limited knowledge and my limited awareness to date. And one of my friends said, you're very compassionate, and that I have a strength that's like my flame on, that it's a compassionate flame and it's the passion from my compassion. And sometimes when I talk, my voice gets really intense and some people don't like it. They don't like it. They can't handle it. They think I'm angry. They think it's anger. But like my one friend said, it's conviction. So I know that I do what I do from a place of compassion. And I know that I do what I do to try to be helpful from my limited knowledge, my limited awareness, and my limited perspective to date. Nobody here is fully healed. Not in this little arena in drama stage Earth School. No, nobody's fully healed. But a lot of us are doing the work, and a lot of us have done a lot of work. And so we're at different levels of awakening, of awareness, different levels of vibration, different levels of knowing, different levels of stuckness, different levels of veils from illusion. And so if we're completely veiled, okay, we're not going to see, understand, hear, know, sense truth from someone who isn't there anymore. Okay, we're not there yet. We're not going to get it. And then we might be blaming, oh, this person's their issue. It's them. It can't possibly be me. It's them. So it's difficult. And then when we have gone through something and we've learned something and we've moved beyond it. Now, there still might be parts that need to be healed. Still layers to be done. Oh, yeah. And then the triggers. So sometimes something gets triggered where we are upset, or where we cry, or where we feel something saying, I'm still here, I need to be acknowledged, I need to be released, whatever. There's those kind of triggers. And then someone might say something to you that you totally block out, and then you twist it around and throw it back at them and try to make them the bad guy. I've been around that for years, and I'm getting really good at recognizing that for what it is. And I know it's not about me, and I'm very thankful for that. So some people are not going to be ready to hear what you have to say, even if they sort of like open a dialogue with you. You might be able to understand them, support them on some level, that you kind of get why they feel the way they do, but you might perceive a type of stuckness. And when you try to bring that to their attention, all hell's going to break loose and they're going to think you're the bad guy. But you're just a messenger. You're just the messenger that they don't recognize. So I'm direct, I'm straightforward. Sometimes my energy is too strong. I don't apologize for that. For those aspects of me, I don't apologize for it. But if someone feels hurt or offended, I recognize that that's an issue coming from someone, and I can say, I'm sorry that you feel that way. You can apologize for something without like getting drawn into whatever it is they're believing, to where you're not. Some people do something wrong, they know it, they apologize for it. They're admitting the awareness that of something. Some people don't do anything with any kind of an ill intent, but someone gets hurt and you can say, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Doesn't mean that you're admitting that you did anything bad or wrong to them when you know damn well that you did not. But it's through the compassion and the kindness and the understanding and holding space for someone that you're communicating with them that you care. Okay, forgiveness is huge, huge superpower to forgive self and others. One of the most amazing things any being on this planet can ever do for themselves is to engage in forgiveness. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. For some people, it comes fairly easily. People can do some shitty fucking things to you and you can forgive, and it's powerful. And I love it. I love it. Other people have a hard time forgiving because they're holding on to their ideas of what it is or was. They want other people to suffer, so they suffer, but they don't realize it. They don't see it for that thing that it is. So You know, there's certain energies in us that are unhealed that we might not realize. So people might treat us certain ways because somehow they're responding to an energy that's in us or around us. Like maybe we have a target on us, so people want to project their shit at us until we begin to realize that it isn't ours. It removed the fucking target because we're not a target. But I had it happen. People act in ways that were like, where they were demonstrating jealousy, and you're like, why? What is this all about? And you begin to notice the woundedness of people in their behavior patterns and what they project at you. And when you can learn to not take it personally because you recognize and you realize that it's not about you, and you don't have to feel offended or hurt because the effects of their wounds are coming out and they might be hurtful. But when you're not hurt by it, it's because you've risen above it, because you've healed that stuff in you. When you are hurt by it, it's because something in you is not healed. So if something's triggered and you feel hurt, if something's triggered and you feel offended, those are showing you the things that need to be healed in you. You need to send yourself love. And hopefully you learn to stop blaming someone else for what you haven't healed in yourself. So when you put something in someone's field, in their energetic field, and that person has something very strong and powerful to say to you about it, and you don't like it, it might not be meant to be offensive at all. It might be something you're not ready to hear. Blame never serves anyone. Gaslighting, twisting shit around and throwing it back at someone and trying to, deflect things and try to, shine the light away from what's happening that you're not ready to be open to, and then try to like find fault or weakness and then throw it back at someone else. I've had people do it to me and I've learned a lot from it. So we can care about okay, we may or may not realize stuckness in ourselves. And hopefully when we do and we begin to do the work, that's fantastic. We gain wisdom from it. We gain strength from it. Okay, people might be drawn to us. People might come across our path that we might be able to help, but only if they're open. So you'll find out real soon if they're not open, because they'll try to twist it around and try to make you the bad guy. I've had it happen many times. So sometimes you can be of help and sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's going to show you what needs to be healed in you. Sometimes you've already done the work and you're showing someone, you're reflecting, mirroring back to them what needs to be healed in them, but they don't see it yet. They don't understand that it's something in themselves that needs to be healed. They want to make someone else the bad guy. It's tough because people are hurting, because people are suffering. They want to be understood. They want to be accepted. But on some level, they're not accepting themselves. There's aspects of themselves they don't understand. They don't know how to heal it. So many people think that they're going to find something in or through someone else, that they can only recognize their value or their worthiness through someone else, because they haven't found it in self. And when you realize that that's only temporary, what you might feel or experience through someone else, they can only meet you to their own level of healing, and who knows what the hell that is. Everybody has healing to do on this planet, ongoing. And sometimes we work on an area again and again, and sometimes there's still layers left that we may or may not know about. So, people are going to come across your path, and you're going to learn from them, and they're going to learn from you, or not. They're tests. These are tests, and you're going to keep being tested. You might be tested by some diabolical bullshit, very wounded individuals that will knock your ass to the ground. Oh, there's my tone. Knock your ass to the ground, in the dirt, wallowing in the mud, because you're going to find something there that you needed to find. They're going to knock your ass down so that you can find your strength and your wisdom and your determination and your own love. Am I angry? No. This is my compassion. Is it intense? Yeah. Some people give, some people don't. Do I say sorry? Probably not. So there's something you're supposed to find when they knock your ass to the ground. Pretty soon you start seeing, oh, here comes another one. There's that energy. They're doing the same thing. They're trying to do it to me. Pretty soon they're not going to be able to knock you down. You might just take a step back and observe. You might smile. You might give them an intense message and they might misperceive it. Who knows? Okay. But you're an observer. So you might take a step back and observe it. You might smile. You might hold space. You might not hold it against them. You might see, sense, feel, know their stuckness. You might realize you can't really help them. You might try, but you might realize you can't really help them. But it doesn't mean you judge them. It doesn't mean you hold it against them. It might mean you have to take a step back from them. Sometimes we have to leave people where they are. Doesn't mean we don't care. But we're not a fucking target. And what it is, we're a mirror. They don't like what's in the mirror, so they fire shit at the mirror like it's a target. No. No. You begin to recognize it and realize it, and you take a step back. You send them love. Sometimes you can try to talk to someone and explain something, but they're not open to it. You're not going to hear it. So you need to honor yourself and be who you are and be, stand in your power. Even if other people don't understand it, they don't understand you or what you do or your tone, or they misperceive it because they might think that your power is anger. Or that if my tone of voice is deep and intense and loud and too powerful, that it's angry. That I'm being triggered. Am I triggering myself right now? Maybe I am. I don't know. It's a label. It's a label. Why do we hang labels on everything? So yeah, stand in your power, even when people don't understand you or recognize you, even when they misperceive you, when they misunderstand you, and then they want to try to throw their shit at you. Put up a plexiglass shield, call in your angels and guides, send yourself love, send them love too. You don't have to be a target for that shit because it isn't yours, but sometimes they try to make it yours. They try to make it about you. So I've been through some horrendous shit that's made me stronger, that's made my calling and my mission for being a messenger stronger. It inspires me. This is the inspiration for the words, for the messages of love and compassion and awareness that I share. And I stand in that power as I'm guided by a higher source to be helpful, but only to those who are open. And people are going to come across my path. They're going to fucking test me who aren't open. It's part of the tests and the initiations. Sorry about the language. Am I? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I mean, it's something I don't have to use, but sometimes I choose to. And some people might be offended by it. Some people might think it's wrong. I don't mind apologizing if someone gets offended. But it doesn't mean that I think I did anything wrong, or that I really feel bad about it, or that I'm going to stop doing it. But I'm honoring them in their offense to say, I'm sorry, for using bad language. But maybe I'm really not. I don't know. So how we perceive things is huge, huge, okay? And how we misperceive things is what makes us suffer. Only the diabolical part is, a lot of the time, we don't realize that we're misperceiving. We are so attached to our thought forms and our belief systems, okay, which run the programs that are running us. So many of us have so many programs. It would be so nice if we were aware we're there and we really decide to shut them down and take our power back from those things. It could be grief. It could be suffering. It could be low self-esteem. It could be feeling unloved. It could be worthiness issues. It could be so many things that we might have even brought in with us. It could be things that we believe, which aren't even true, but we revolve our lives around it as if it were. And so we create a reality, and we actually create a type of suffering, and we want people to support us in that, but sometimes they can't. And sometimes when they're honest with us, we decide we don't like it, or we don't like them, because we're not addressing the real issue. What if you follow the roots down, 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 deep down to where they go? What are you going to find? And what are you going to do about it? When are you going to take responsibility for loving yourself enough to step out of this void of ignorance and into the sacred? You don't need to find yourself through anyone else. And until you find and heal yourself, you're not going to find it out there anywhere else, no matter what you believe. But some people have to learn the hard way. And so I'm sorry if this message is too intense, if it's too direct, if it's too honest, if it's too ignorant, whatever label anybody might want to hang on it. But maybe there's some people out there that might get something from it that might be helpful to them. I don't know what that is. I don't know who they are. I've learned a lot from a lot of things that make me break down and cry right now. We have to heal from shit. And we do it in our own way. And people are going to throw some shit at us that's really hurtful. Knives, darts from their own wounds. And they don't realize how badly they need healing. And when we do the healing ourselves, there's always going to be more that needs to be done. And sometimes we have to walk away from people who are extremely wounded, because if we don't, they will harm us. We have to come to a place where we don't allow them to harm us, because we recognize our truth and we love ourselves enough.